Hello and welcome. My first ever recorded yoga practice. As I hear little Ginger's footsteps, always wanting to be part of the action as she takes a little drink. As I begin to film this short and sweet morning yoga practice, my beautiful dog Ginger decides it's time for a drink. So letting yourself arrive on your mat, perhaps having a blanket and a couple of blocks, cushion, pillow, gathering any props you might need. And let's begin our practice in a tabletop shape. That blanket could be under the knees, setting yourself up in your most steady, most supportive tabletop. Pressing down through the entire surface area of each of your palms. Really feeling the texture of your mat, your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. And as you find your next in-breath, let's drop the belly. Lift the gaze, find your cow. Exhaling, doming through your upper back, chin towards your chest, find your cat. Inhale to find your cow, and exhale to find your cat. Inhaling, arching through your spine, feeling that broadness across your chest. Maybe the gaze lifts. And exhale to round, curling, doming through the spine, tucking the chin in. And finding a few more rounds, exploring your own rhythm, own pace. When you've had enough of that movement, might turn into side bends. Waving the hips from one side to the other. This could also turn into a little bit of free movement. If it feels okay to close the eyes, letting your body guide this movement. You can't get anything wrong. Perhaps noticing places that feel a little sticky. Places wanting, calling out for your attention. Imagining that your breath is floating, dancing into these spaces. Inviting a sense of more softness, of ease. And over the next breath or so, finding your tabletop. Feeling this sense of buoyancy through all of the parts of your body in connection with the ground. And the invitation to walk just the hands off the mat towards the left. Hips facing forwards. Just the hands off to the left for this cat and cow variation. So when you feel ready, arch through the spine, open up through the chest, cow. Exhale, round through, tucking the tucking the pelvis. Inhale to find your cow, and exhale, find your cat. It's such a pleasure for you to join me for my first recorded yoga practice. This cat and cow variation, courtesy of my teacher Addie. So thankful for this side body exploration. Maybe you can feel and sense an opening through the ribs. Maybe one more. And meandering your way back to the middle. Perhaps a little shake out through each of your wrists. Before we find that cat and cow variation on the second side. Inviting the palms to navigate off your mat towards the right. And beginning to arch and flatten. Inhaling to find your cow arching through the spine. And exhaling, curling in, flattening, doming through the upper back. Finding as many rounds as feels useful, feels supportive today. That might be more or less than my suggestions. Knowing you can always make a different choice. Perhaps one or two more. And let the hands find their way back to the middle. Perhaps a gentle stretch through each of your wrists, pressing the back of the hand into the mat. Feeling and sensing that stretch through the forearm. Making any little micro movements and adjustments. Any organic free movement. How is your breath moving and dancing through your body? And then whenever you feel ready from tabletop, lengthening your left leg back behind you, pressing back through that left foot. Find a breath in. And exhale, letting that foot travel out beside you. So our left leg is parallel to the mat, toes facing forwards. In this gate pose variation. The invitation to explore a little bit of cat and cow, the same movement, but perhaps noticing where you can feel and sense sensation the most. As you inhale, opening up through the chest, arching through the spine. And exhale, rounding through, doming through your upper back. Like we did before, this might turn into a bit of organic free movement. Letting the outstretched leg bend as you circle through the hips. No right or wrong way to move. Your movement could look really different to mine, more expansive, more subtle. Breathing in and breathing out. And Finding a little bit of stillness, grounding down through the right palm as the left fingertips float up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, thread the needle, arm underneath the body. Inhale to float the arm up. And exhale, that arm travels underneath the body. Inhale to float the fingertips, sparkling them to the ceiling, the sky. And exhale, round on through. This time, using your hands to press your way up onto that right knee, making any little adjustments you need to your clothing, to the placement of your limbs, finding each other in this gate pose. Your left hand traveling down the left leg as you find an inhale, floating the right arm up towards the sky. And as you exhale, leaning over to the left, towards the outstretched leg. Feeling that openness through the right side body. Letting the head hang. You might come out of your gate, find another breath in. Exhale, return, seeing if your body is inviting you to travel just a little bit deeper. The right arm can be in movement or in stillness. Inhale, both arms raising up. And as gently as you can, let's invite that left foot to travel to the top left-hand corner of our mat, finding our low lunge. And taking as much time as you need, observing the placement of that left foot, the ankle underneath the knee, stacking through the bones, supporting our muscles. Find a breath in. Exhale, side bend over to the left. Left hand might find the top of the thigh, the right arm rainbowing over. Again, that familiarity through the side body stretch on the right side. Finding a breath or two here. And your inhale will lift you back up to center. And exhale, twist to our left, right arm forward, left arm back. Shoulders soft, fingers relaxed. Back hand finding your hip. As you inhale, raise the right arm. As the shoulders sparkle to the ceiling, the fingers sparkle to the ceiling, the shoulders travel down your back. Letting that right hand sprinkle down to the mat. As we unravel, uncurl through the left arm, find your simple twist. Feeling that openness, broadness through the chest. Breath in. Exhale, both hands float down so that we can send the left knee back. You might like to widen through the knees, big toes to touch. Sending your hips back any amount, finding your child's form. Your head might be resting on your hands. Your forehead can come down to the mat. Perhaps rolling your head from side to side, massaging through the brow. Invitation to find a little sway through the hips. Find some movement in your child's form. And as we next find an in-breath, let's come up onto the fingertips for a halfway lift. Inhale, neck long. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lifting up halfway onto the fingertips. Exhale, fold. And one more without my voice. And that sway through the hips. Make your way back to tabletop. And before we repeat that sequence on the other side, the invitation is to tuck through the toes, bringing the knees and ankles towards each other. And then sending the hips back any amount, feeling that stretch and openness through the feet, the toes. You might be here with some support. Maybe rising up. Rolling out through the wrists. Observing if your shoulders are engaged, maybe they could soften just a fraction. One more breath in and out. That stretch can feel like a lot for the feet. So knowing it's okay to be here with support. Really listening to what feels kind and friendly and nourishing for your body today. As I turn myself around, I'm prepared to complete that sequence, move through that sequence on the second side. Finding your most supportive tabletop shape. Being intentional about the placement of your hands, your knees. Feeling a lengthening through the neck, as though the back of your skull is reaching up towards the sky. You might like to explore a little bit of free movement. The possibility of observing how this is now feeling after waking up, moving. Are there still places that are calling out for a little attention? Continuing with that free movement for as long as you like. And whenever you feel ready, sending that right leg back, pressing back through the sole of your foot. Inhale. And exhale, letting that right foot swing towards the right side of your mat. Right leg long, foot parallel to your mat, toes facing forwards. And our cat and cow variation. Inhaling, tilting the pelvis. Find a breath in. Exhaling, rounding on through, doming through the upper back. Inhale, find your cow. Exhale, find your cat. I often think that it would be rather helpful for this shape to be called cow and cat. because we most often move into cow first and then rounding on through to our cat. And although I've practiced this shape many times, I always forget which is cat and which is cow. It might turn into some free movement as you circle through the hips, letting the right knee bend. Breathing slow, steady, nourishing breaths. Imagining that your body is creating more space for your breath to flow in, to dance, to nourish all of your cells. It could be now or in a few moments, but finding your gate pose variation tabletop. As we ground down through the palm of the left hand, inhaling to uncurl, unravel the right arm to the sky. Inhale. And exhale, round on through, thread the needle. Inhaling to rise that right arm up, opening through the chest. And exhale, round on through. One more. In breath. And exhale, thread the needle. Using the support of your hands to walk your way up into your gate pose, making any little adjustments to your clothing, listening for any little cracks or pops. You might have heard my ankle make a loud crackle. And find a place that feels really steady and supportive, finding as much time as you need to discover and uncover that place. The right hand traveling down the right leg. As you inhale, the left arm floats up towards the clouds, and exhale, rainbowing over towards the outstretched leg. Feeling, sensing that sensation opening through the left side waist, side body, head and neck heavy, allowing gravity to do the work here. Your in-breath might travel you out of the shape for a moment. Another breath in to prepare. And another rainbow. Exhaling, sinking into your gate pose. Rising up on your next in-breath. And contemplating that right foot stepping to the top of your mat. Finding your lunge. Maybe as you set up, your hips shift and wriggle around. Play with the placement of that right foot, perhaps bringing it out to the corners of your mat. Finding that steady foundation. As you're ready, both arms sparkling up to the sky, in breath. And exhale, right hand on that front knee. Another rainbow, side bend towards the right. That familiar opening through the side body, letting the head and neck grow heavy, relaxed. And the top arm can be in movement or stillness. Floating up on the in-breath. And exhale, twisting. Left arm forward, right arm back. As you nestle down through the shoulders, fingers relaxed. Find a few breaths. As the back arm, the right arm finds your hip, exalt, raise the left arm up. The shoulder sinks down as the fingertips lift. And perhaps watching that left fingertips, left hand, as that hand finds its way, losing my words. Left hand finds its way to the ground. Inhaling, unfurling through the right arm, simple twist. Feeling that connection through the left hand, the right foot, all of the places of connection between your body and the ground. Exhale both hands back to the middle of your mat, sending the right foot back. This time we might shift onto one hip, meeting each other in a butterfly shape. You might like to sit up on a blanket, raising the hips a little. If you have a couple of blocks or books or cushions, that can feel supportive for under the knees. As I iron out some crinkles in my mat. No rush to arrive in our supported butterfly. Gentle roll through the head and neck. And then using the hands to massage through the feet. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Noticing the temperature of your toes. Using the thumbs to knead into the sole of each foot. And if you can't reach the feet, that's okay. Massaging any place along the upper thigh, the calves, the shins, the ankles. Anywhere that you can reach. You can continue that if it's feeling particularly supportive. Otherwise, you might gently hinge forwards, curling in, doming through the upper back. And gentle sway from side to side. Observing places that are calling out for your attention here. Maybe also observing places that feel perhaps open and spacious. When your body says that's enough, using the hands to unravel, unwind, find a supple spine. Using the hands to guide both knees back into center. You can place your blocks or books aside. Let's find a minute or so in our final resting shape, Śavāsana. I like to have a pillow, little blanket, some cushioning beneath my head. Landing on your back. Might invite the legs to lengthen long. Your hands can be down by your sides. I find it quite supportive to have my hands resting on my body. Landing, settling. Allowing your whole body here to ground and settle into the surface that is supporting you. As though the earth is inviting your body to sink and soften and let go. And the weight of your body is making an imprint as though you're laying in sand. A few moments now without the sound of my voice. Resting in and with yourself. I'll invite us to close the practice together in a few moments. Gently becoming aware of the places where your body is in connection to the ground beneath. Making some micro movements, nestling down through the blades of your shoulders. A wave-like motion through the pelvis. And that movement might invite your head to roll, to rock from side to side. Circling through the wrists. Feeling the spaciousness between each of your fingers. Perhaps a point and flex through the feet. A scrunch, a squeeze through the toes. Your feet might find their way onto the ground. A stretch overhead. Maybe a yawn. Awakening into this very moment. Arriving into this moment.